Well, today we are going to talk about Florida, specifically Southeast Florida, where it's warm, sunny, lifestyles of the rich and famous. That's what I think when I think of my friend Brianne's area. How are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Gosh, a lot of us that don't live in warm states, we always dream of just the lifestyles in Florida and all there is to do there. So I'm so excited to talk to you today specifically about Southeast Florida, which is an amazing area. But, first, tell us about yourself and tell us how long have you been in real estate and how did you get into real estate?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. It is
Sure.
lovely to join you. I've been in real estate for 11 years full time, and it feels like a lot longer. My parents have been in real estate, so I joined them and their team. My mom has been in real estate since I was in middle school years and years and years ago. So I've been around and in and around real estate for that long. So I remember my mom going to Howard Brinton conferences, for those of you who remember that. And then obviously we are with Keller Williams, so being in the Keller Williams family and hearing about family reunion and mega camp, and then finally going to it myself. So I've been in selling here in Southeast Florida in Boca Raton specifically for the past 11 years full time.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Yes. Was that the star power that you were talking
Yeah,
about?
star power. I didn't
Uh,
go, but I heard a lot about it. So yeah,
yeah,
through
it's
osmosis.
I've never been, but I've heard about it a lot, especially from people who have been in the real estate profession for quite some time. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are in Boca Raton, which is beautiful, sunny, amazing, but you're also near some other areas like West Palm Beach. And what other cities, do you service?
Yeah, so we cover all of Palm Beach County, so from Jupiter all the way through Boca. So West Palm Beach, Deerfield Beach is in Broward, actually. Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, Lake Worth, all of the beaches, Wellington, and then I also cover Broward County, so Deerfield Beach through Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood area. And a lot of our resales or new sales are people moving from my area up to Port St. Lucie. It's a little bit slower pace in Port St. Lucie, and the pricing is a little bit more moderate for some new homes. So I've gone a little bit into that area as well.
One thing about Florida, there's so much going on, every single city has a different set of market statistics and every city and area has different things going on. You could go to the northern Florida and things be totally different than where you are. So, with that in mind, the area you cover, kind of give us an idea of what's going on in the market in general.
Sure. So here we have quite a bit of inventory. So we're a little bit of a balanced market when it comes to certain price points. So anything that is 700,000 and under, uh, uh, a in my area, specifically in Boca, a starter home would be in the 500 to 700 range. And that's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house, maybe 1,700 square feet. It's very hard to find something under 500,000 in that range. And then so we're still in a hot market there for single family homes. We have a lot of townhomes and we have a lot of condos. So our price point can go, what would be a starter home would be in that 5 to 7 range, and then from 7 to 1.2 million is your 4 to 5 bedroom home that has the pool and the garages and the car, the 3 car garages and everything. There's quite a bit of variance, and then you have some homes that are 55 plus homes that are selling for $100,000. So it goes really wide. It's really different. Our condo market is unique and fun. Um, our condo market is a little bit of a heavier inventory, 6 months plus in condo market right now. And a lot of that has to do with insurance and the changes in the laws. So we're working through that, and we're helping our clients figure that out and navigate that as we're all navigating it together.
hmm Well, it's funny you bring up condos because with the situation, I think it happened in Miami a few years ago, with the collapse, I guess.
Mhm.
I think that that has actually spread, beyond Florida to a lot of areas in the U.S. For example, here we have condos and townhomes as well, and they have not moved as quickly. And again, and I think they've started to put some more measures in place, which is really good. For
Yeah.
example, if a lender is going to look carefully into the reserves for the HOA and things like that, where they probably really weren't doing that before. So some good has probably come out of that. However, with the condo market, like you said, there's more inventory that allows more opportunities for investors. Or, I was going to ask you about first time home buyers with that price point that you said 5 to 700. That might be tough for maybe first time buyers. Do you see them like leaning toward those condos and townhomes, or what do you see?
Yeah, so a lot more are going toward townhomes.
Mm,
Condos are strict in terms of you can't use FHA. A lot of first-time home buyers are able to utilize FHA, so we're seeing a lot more of them go to condos, or I'm sorry, away from condos and into townhomes. And that's great because there's an opportunity there. There are four-bedroom condo or townhomes rather
mm.
that are under 500,000 and that's easily attainable. So there are options and there's definitely a lot of variety here. And while Boca Raton specifically may have a higher price point, the neighboring cities around offer opportunities that maybe there are single family homes in the low fives that you can get. And that's still relatively accessible to first time home buyers in our area for
So
cost of
basically,
living. Yeah,
oh yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
works
for
out.
sure.
So yeah, and
Okay.
while we don't really get into a lot of rentals, there is still a strong rental market here. So
Mm.
that is something that we can assist with here as well.
So basically, a first-time buyer may need to expand their radius, move out a little further to get a lower price. Another opportunity with the condos, and there may be a lot of rules depending on the neighborhood, of course, but is that an opportunity for investors? Because as for example, investors in California, they're always looking for great deals in the Midwest and the South. And so does that give them, do you feel like there's a lot of opportunities, maybe not just condos, but in general for investments in your area?
Some, and I'm being very honest here because
Mhm.
condos are getting more restrictive in terms of investors. They really want people to own for a year or two before they're allowing those investors to come in to rent. There are opportunities everywhere. Not so many for short-term rentals, like the Airbnbs are very regulated here, which is fine. There are still pockets that you can get if there's not a strict HOA, more so in the single family homes and certainly in areas that have higher inventory, which we definitely have pockets of that. So
Sure.
townhomes for sure. Yeah. There are opportunities.
Okay.
There's opportunities everywhere. We just need to have the right agent that knows the area and that we can navigate those specific areas for you.
Yeah, it definitely helps having an expert who knows, the different neighborhoods, the rules and regulations of all the different communities, which it's true. A lot of them have a lot of regulations. And I've heard from other places in Florida that Airbnbs and things like that have gotten a little more strict. So it's just good to know the right agent and the expert. So when looking at your area, where are people moving from across the US? Have you seen people moving from certain areas of the country to your area?
Yes. So I always say people come down I-95 and end up in East Florida, Southeast Florida. So we have a lot
Mhm.
of New England, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut
Mm.
area, some from Massachusetts. And then we have an influx from Miami coming up. So a lot of people are moving, just move north. So I've got people that are coming locally within the area. So the big thing is when people are looking for schools or they're looking for certain community-based activities, they'll move from some certain areas and then they'll end up in particularly in Boca or Wellington where the schools have a higher rating than other areas in our county. So that's something that I notice a lot of local buyers. And then I've got people that come from all over the place. So, yeah, but more than likely, like I just have quite a few from New England and the I-95 drive.
Yeah, and who can blame them? I mean, then they can go back up home to visit friends and family, or maybe you have snowbirds that want to
A lot of
still live
snowbirds.
in New England because New England's awesome, but then
Yeah.
come down in the winter. I mean, who can blame them? It's an easy transition. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so they're coming from the Northeast. Of course, they're coming from everywhere, but a big portion from the Northeast. Let's talk about people who are just looking to downsize. So I've talked to a lot of people about this, and in the whole United States, this is a huge population and a population that I feel that we need to be focusing on since, a lot of people are at that age right now where they're wanting to downsize maybe into a one level home or, even a community like a Del Webb or something like that. So my question to you is, are they doing a lot of new construction for those type of people to downsize to, or um, I guess just what's going on with that community, right? Like, what are the people who are downsizing? What are they doing?
So you mentioned Del Webb, which is ironic. We just sold a new construction in Del Webb in Port St.
Oh,
Lucie. So while Port
awesome.
St. Lucie is about an hour-ish from me, it's a little bit far. However, come to know it really well because we have a lot of those people that are downsizing from the 4 and 5 bedroom homes and going to the new construction. So I think I've sold three 55 plus
Wow.
beautiful brand new homes up in Port St. Lucie to some of my clients who I helped them here when they had their larger home with their family and now they're downsizing and they're going to the new construction there. That's generally where there's more new construction a little bit further north and west in our
Hmm.
community area. Boca is very populated and very dense in terms of locations for building that type of property. So right now, the new construction is more larger homes, single family homes based, where they're 2,500 square feet plus all the way up to close to 4,000 square feet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, and I mentioned Del Webb because last week we have a grand opening that where they're just starting to build and take reservations here on the north side of Indy. We have quite a few of those communities because in Indy we have to remember we have a lot of land outside of the city. So lots of those communities being built. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is not an ad for Del Webb, but I'm going to tell you what. If I was 55, I know exactly where I'd be putting a deposit down because those homes are incredible. And the amenities that they offer is
Yes.
just like, I'm 44. I'm like, I want to be in there.
Yeah. Well, and they've got like specifically here, it looks like
Yeah.
Margaritaville. So it's
Oh,
beautiful. I don't know what they're building, and I'm sure it's more in line with what your, area looks like in
yeah.
nearby. But pickleball courts are huge here. I mean, everybody is just in love with pickleball here. I still have yet to play, but that was one of the big draws for one of my clients was he really wanted to be in a community that had a lot of activity and a lot of pickleball,
Mhm.
and we have a lot of that. You can play year round here, obviously, with our weather, even though it's incredibly warm right now to
Oh,
90s. It's a little hot. Um, so yeah, we have that opportunity here, and I think a lot of people. There's a lot of other communities that are not new that have been renovated and that have that same offering. So for people that are looking to downsize, we have opportunity here everywhere. It is very, very retirement friendly, and we have a lot of communities that cater to people that are looking for an active lifestyle like that.
I love that. And yeah, pickleball is all the rage no matter where you are. Again, I haven't done it either, but I mean, listen, these people love pickleball. Every single new community, I feel like that's one of the features, pickleball court. So
Yes.
people are obsessed. That's so great to hear though, because there's so many opportunities that didn't exist 10, 15 years ago for people who are downsizing. And now I'm like,
Right.
wow, there's so many different activities and opportunities. So obviously you're an expert in that, in those type of communities as well. So if anyone's watching this video and you want to come to Indy or Southeast Florida, we know what we're doing. So
Yeah.
my other question to you, obviously people may move to your area for other reasons besides retiring and first time home buyers. maybe they're moving there for a job. Maybe, which I've heard this a lot, they're moving there because they want a second home because they want to be close to their kids and grandkids. Have you seen a lot of that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I have a lot of people, in fact, two buyers I'm taking out this weekend. Their children have moved here, adult children have moved here, and they're now coming into becoming grandparents, and so now they want to be closer to the grandkids. And so I helped their family, their child, move here first, and then they want to find something close by. So that happens quite a bit. We have that a lot.
Well, and then I was going to kind of just finally ask, when you think of Southeast Florida, are there any industries that would bring people there from other states? Like, because of course, people are moving because of jobs and things. Tourism's probably one of the big industries, but are there any others that you can think of that maybe move people to your area?
There's a huge corporate area here. It's not so much we don't have like an industrial area so much. It's more corporate jobs. So a lot of headquarters are moving here,
Mhm.
and we're seeing larger Amazon plants coming in to
Yeah.
specific areas. So we are seeing some more corporate than anything. And tourism is huge. That's a driver here in Florida. And
Yeah.
we don't have a state income tax. So that's a huge benefit for us. And we have homestead tax exemption, which is another huge benefit here. So there's some interesting things that are happening, and a lot of people come down specifically from states that have state income tax and looking to find opportunities here where they can have a little bit more affordability in some ways. It
Yes.
depends
Oh
on where
gosh,
you're coming
people love
from.
that. People love no state income tax, and there's really only a few states that have that. I forget where else, maybe Texas or I don't remember, but yeah, people really love that, and that can save you money. And with that homestead exemption, we have that here too. I mean, our property taxes are 1% or less, and of course, our price point's a lot lower than yours, but still, there's places that have these really high property taxes, so that the price point, may not tell the whole story. If you have lower taxes and things, there's lots of opportunity. Well, my final question would be for you. If someone was looking to relocate to your area, of course, they would contact you, but what would you give them any advice? Because since you service so many cities, what advice would you give someone who doesn't quite know what city they want to go to in Southeast Florida?
So I would say first and foremost, come down and visit and spend a weekend. You're never going to know in on a Zoom or online.
Mhm.
You really have to be here because each community, while it is South Florida and everybody thinks, oh, beaches, we have so much more than just the beaches here. We have a lot to offer and a lot of different community feels. So I feel like it's really important to be here in person, and then also to determine what's really important to you, because a lot of people want to be close to the beach. Other people are really more inclined to be a little bit further west in what we call suburbia, which is kind of funny. And schools are driving their moves, so they want to be in an excellent school zone. So that really helps to determine what is your key driver and what's most important to you when you're moving. Is it price point? Is it schools? Is it location? And I think that's important everywhere, but more so here because a lot of people say, "Oh, we're going to go to the beach." I've grown up here, and in the past 4 years, I haven't been to the beach more than 3 times. So
Oh,
it's just depends on what, when you're a tourist, it's you go all the time, but once you're here all the time, you really don't go as frequently. So what's the most important thing to you?
oh my gosh. It's like for those of us who are watching this that are not in Florida, we're like, oh my gosh, we want to go to the beach so bad. That's funny though, because I totally understand. It's like when you have something where you live, it's kind of like, so
It's not,
totally.
yeah, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
drive by it, I'll take a picture like I am a tourist, and sometimes I have to play tourist so that I actually drive myself to the beach and do that. It's just you forget sometimes when you're in daily life that you have these opportunities right in your backyard.
Exactly. Well, you're the expert in Southeast Florida. So if you're watching this video and you're looking for opportunities in Southeast Florida, please give Brianna a call, and I will put her information below this video so you can contact her. But thank you so much. This was so
Thank
helpful
you.
and really provided a lot of information. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I really am honored to be part of your referral network.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Talk soon. Bye.